Hi, and welcome to our 2020 public hearing. This is the Tompkins County Office for the Aging public hearing. My name is Karen Bullis. I am the Deputy Director here at the office. And I want to thank you all for joining us. Welcome to I know things look a little different than in years past, so thank you for taking the time to log on and join us. The purpose of this public hearing is to provide an opportunity for the community to learn about the services and the programs that our office provides. In addition to that, it really allows for an important opportunity for the public to provide feedback and input on issues that affect older adults in our community. It also can provide input for our planning for our 2021 plan. Now, having said that, throughout this hearing, you can provide feedback and ask questions through the chat feature on the YouTube channel, as well as throughout the time from now until Friday, November 13th. And you can provide that feedback by filling out a short survey, which is located on our office website, or you can call our office directly and speak to a staff member who can record your feedback that way. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our participants here. We have Lisa Monroe, who is the Director of the Office for the Aging. We have Rodney Main, who is an Aging Services Specialist here at the office. And then we also are joined by Charlie Hart, who is our chairman of the advisory committee, and he lives and represents the town of Trident. So Lisa, I'll pass it on to you.
Thank you. I am going to share my screen, so hopefully it cooperates, and Rodney will start off our presentation. All right. Okay. All right, can everybody see that? Okay, great. All right, here we go.
Thanks, Lisa. So our mission at the Tompkins County Office for the Aging is to assist older adults and persons with long-term care needs to live independently in their homes and communities with quality of life and dignity. I'm going to talk about the services of our office. The Tompkins County Office for the Aging is your point of entry into aging services available in Tompkins County. We provide thorough and unbiased information regarding the vast array of services for older adults and their caregivers. Featured here are our printed resource guides and tabling information, which can also be found on our webpage or sent by mail. All you have to do is call the office. I'll go over some of the services of our office. This is a list of services provided directly through our office. New York Connects Long-Term Care Services, Personal Emergency Response System, or PERS, which is the emergency buttons for people to use to get help in their homes if they're alone, especially if they're alone. This program is particular in keeping people independent and at home. We also do health insurance counseling, which is Medicare counseling and other types of health insurance. We often have a lot of retirees coming in with different options, so we like to navigate Medicare with them, explain all of their options so that they can make an informed decision on their Medicare benefits and how they receive them. We do information referral and counseling. This is, in general, we help folks navigate the vast community resources available to them in a person-centered way. So we try to tailor an approach to getting services to meet people's needs. We also house the Caregiver Resource Center and Alzheimer's Support Unit. We have a caregiver library. We hold powerful tools for caregiver courses, caregiver training and workshops, and we have a caregiver newsletter that we do each quarter as well, just to keep our caregivers informed of any opportunities and definitely information that can help them be the great caregivers that they are. We also have Project Care Friendly Visiting, which is a a program. It's matching local volunteers to those in the community that are socially isolated, and giving them someone to visit with them once or twice a week. We also do the Home Energy Assistance Program, or HEAP. We assist in filling out applications to get help with the heating bills during the wintertime. And we have the Long-Term Care Ombudsman Program, which is in Chemung, Schuyler, and Tompkins counties. We empower residents of nursing facilities and help mediate between any issues that might be between the patient and the nursing home. We also perform falls home safety assessments, which is really assessing someone's risk of falling within their home, make recommendations to either get rid of a throw rug that might be a tripping hazard, or add safety bars in a shower or in a bathroom, so that people lessen their risk of falling. We also keep a yard work and snow shoveling list during each of those seasons, both volunteer and paid help for people who need help with those things. We have the Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program, which is the $20 booklets of farmers market coupons that can be used at the local farmers markets to help people get fresh produce and locally grown produce. And then we have the Gadabout transportation tickets, which help people get transportation through Gadabout, both in the Ithaca proper and outskirts of Ithaca area. So next we have our contracted services of our office. These are contracts with local agencies to provide services. Food Net Meals on Wheels, which is congregate and home delivered meals, nutrition counseling, and education. We contract with Lifelong, which also help us with health insurance counseling, health promotion programs. They have a Senior Circle newsletter that goes out to several thousand people in the area. And in multicultural and inclusive programming. We also work very closely with the Tompkins County Long-Term Care Services for case management and the expanded in-home services for the elderly program, shortened to ISEP, and caregiver respite. The Ithaca Neighborhood Housing Services offer health and safety related home repairs for income eligible seniors. We work with Finger Lakes Independence Center with the registry program and linking individuals needing in-home assistance with independent persons for hire. We also work with Legal Assistance of Western New York, or Law New York, which provide legal assistance in civil matters. Personal care and chores or housekeeping assistance are provided by the following agencies: Caregivers, Comfort Keepers, Home Instead, Staff Kings, and Finger Lakes Independence Center through the Consumer Directed Program.
Great. Thanks, Rodney. I will pick up here and talk about our plan abstract for 2021, which is located on our webpage. If you go to our main page, you scroll down to current news and events, there is a link you can click on, and it brings you to a page with all the information about, it includes our plan abstract itself. It includes the survey that Karen had mentioned in the beginning, and how to access us and why we do this each year. So you can access that. Roddy had just went over the contracted services of our office. For 2021, we are planning on keeping all of our contracts, although COVID has changed the way we've done things with our directly and indirectly provided programs. We still are maintaining everything that we do normally. We're just doing it a little different. And the contracts are the same. Really, we did have to take a 12% reduction in our county budget planning, which has not been approved. And I think it's supposed to go through the legislation on November 17th. And with the 12% reduction, we did reduce our staffing to by 1.5 full-time equivalent positions. And all the contracts are going to be kept. However, there was a slight reduction in our ISEP program, which is the expanded in-home services for the elderly program, that is reduced, and you'll see that in our budget piece at the end of this presentation. With that said, that reduction really brings us in line with our spending. We were having some difficulty finding aides to fill some of these hours. So really, it's not going to be a reduction in service. It's going to just kind of bring us true to what our actual spending is. So we will still continue all those programs. New York Connects, Rodney went over what that was. We will continue to provide this and administer this program. The funding will still be available for that to do the comprehensive information about long-term care services in Tompkins County. In 2015, the Tompkins County and the city of Ithaca were welcomed into the AARP's network of age-friendly communities. And this is an initiative of the World Health Organization. It's intended to prepare municipalities to provide livable communities for the rapid population aging. We've been working on this for a few years now, and in November of 2019, we were chosen and awarded a grant from the Health Foundation of Central and Western New York to develop an age-friendly Center for Excellence. That Center for Excellence is one of 5 regional centers for excellence across New York State. So we are working with our partners on this project, which will end in March 2021. So we will be working at the beginning of the year. It's really to support the New York State Health Across All Policies initiative by promoting age-friendly and the New York State Prevention Agenda, and using smart growth principles together to really support healthy aging and to coordinate across disciplines and other agencies and with stakeholder input to make sure that our community can be livable and it be seen as a mentor for other communities that may be trying to become age-friendly. So personal emergency response system, we'll continue to do that. I think Rodney mentioned that. This is a program that we contract with Doyle Medical Monitoring to provide that. The technology mainly, it's still being performed with the people in our office. Again, this is one of the programs that I mentioned that are done a little bit differently, but our staff is still responsible for helping the installation process with the PERS machines. We will continue to do so. Again, it just looks a little bit different. Let's see, the regional, we will be still continuing to provide this program through funding that is allotted to us. Again, as Rodney said, we oversee Tompkins, Schuyler, and Chemung counties. We have 2 full-time staff that are certified ombudsmen, a program coordinator, and an outreach program specialist. And really, their roles have changed also due to COVID, and their in-person visits have been limited because they haven't been able to get into facilities. So finding new ways to be able to continue to advocate for people in person, to continue to establish the relationships that are needed in this program, and to provide outreach so people understand that we are still available and there to assist them is really going to be a main goal of theirs in 2021. Addressing social isolation. That was it is a topic that is concerning for us in the office and many people in the community. And it continues to feel like it's growing larger as people are staying home for longer and longer. One thing that we recently are working on is a Senior Planet contract with Lifelong, our senior center in town. They will be providing a hotline for people to use for technology. And it's really for their membership, and it will open them up to planning that Senior Planet has planning and programming, and the programs are everything from, legal presentations to exercise classes and all sorts of things that they'll have in addition to what Lifelong already offers them. And we also will be doing a pilot project to assist people that are lower income and that meet certain criteria to obtain a tablet, as well as LTE for 1 year to ensure that they're not continuing to be socially isolated and they have the ability to access things like Senior Planet and Lifelong. And they'll be partnered with a Project Care volunteer, which is coming from some students that we have at Ithaca College Gerontology Institute, aging studies students, as well as some Binghamton University social work students that are going to be matched with a client and that can help assist them with the technology, as well as be available to be their friendly visitors. So they'll be able to have those weekly, if not twice a week, calls and connections with someone. Also, companion pets. So I don't have one handy to show everybody, but we have virtual robo pets, they're called, and they're a big hit for some people, and not everybody loves them, but they are available in the office. We have given them out to quite a few people who would like the companion of a pet. And if people are interested, they can certainly call us, and we will continue to fund that program too. Okay, policy trends. Let's see, through the Long-Term Care Committee and our advisory committee of the Office for Aging will continue to monitor the effects of current policy and legislation on the life of older adults. Some of the examples include use of hospital observation status under Medicare, the home care shortage, I think that I had mentioned. Also through the Ombudsman program, advocating for the in-person visits, or at least a companion visitor. There's some legislation out there right now that's being worked on to try to get some people to be able to go in to visit their loved ones in facilities. So we're keeping an eye on those issues that affect people and affect their quality of life and services that are available to them in the community. Client satisfaction, we continually do satisfaction surveys about the programs that we do each year. This year, we will do satisfaction surveys on our New York Connects program, on our Project Care program, our caregiver services, legal services, and home repair and senior center programming. So we collect data on all this information, and we're able to reach out to those people and go through a survey with them to ensure that these programs are meeting their needs and they're satisfied with what they're receiving. Targeting efforts will continue. This is something that we do every year to ensure that we are serving underserved populations, non-English speaking, racial, ethnic minorities, particularly the Asian community is something that we strive to reach out with every year, because we don't always meet those goals, but we'll continue to do that as we do every other year. Okay, this next page is really just a list, and I'm not going to read through every single thing on it, but we maintain a list of unmet needs. They're kind of, I call them gaps in services, gaps in programs in the community, calls that we get from people that we just can't seem to find anyone else or any other organization that's able to fill those needs. So we keep a list of that, and as you can read that. But as I said before, the home health aides, particularly PCA2, which is personal care aides, there's a big lack of them in the community. And it's not just in our community, it's nationwide. That's just one. And additional funding for home repairs and weatherization, that's always something, we do fund it through our office, but there's always a need for that. If people are going to stay in their homes and communities, they need that assistance. So, and the rest of it will be, is in the plan abstract for you to review at a different time. The next slide is our budget slides. Again, this is in the plan abstract as well. It's just a budget breakdown by funding source. You can see that where our portions of funding come from. Our county funding and state funding is the most, county funding coming in second, and then federal funding. We do have some interdepartmental funding, and that funds some of our programs like HEAP. We work with DSS with them on that. We have grant funding that we receive. We have matching funds contributed by our subcontractors. Some of the funding and federal and state funding, we're required to have a match with that funding when we subcontract out a program. And also there's contributions from our PERS program and from clients and fees that are associated with some of our programs. And this is just the same funding broken down a little bit farther. One thing about our budget is, and I'll just point out a couple things here. You can see with our expanded in-home services for the elderly program, which is down the list here a bit, where is it? It's in the New York State. It's like fourth from the top. You can see where the 70% has been, or $70,000 was a decrease. And that's really the contract that took the biggest hit. But to kind of give you an overall view of our contracts in our budget in general, is that we have 28 different programs that we administer. We have 32 different contracts. We have 12 subcontractors, 22 different funding streams. We have 9 federal funding streams, 9 state funding streams, 3 local, and we have 4 different fiscal years. So our budget gets very complicated and at times, but this breaks it down in a way that's manageable for people to really see where the money is going. Again, this is in the plan abstract. And that's all I have. If anybody has any questions, I'm not sure if anybody chatted in, but this is recorded and we will be putting it on the county's YouTube page as well as our YouTube page. But I'll stop sharing my screen and let Karen let me know if there's any questions.
We have not gotten any questions so far.
Wonderful. Charlie, did you have any questions or thoughts?
No questions. It will probably be a challenging year, as we've seen 2020, and until there's a vaccine available and made available to everybody, it is still going to continue to be a problem, I foresee.
Yes, fortunately, I agree with you. And again, this is recorded and you'll have the opportunity to provide feedback in a few different ways, as Karen mentioned in the beginning. Feel free to call our office. There is the survey. If someone needs a paper survey that they'd like to review, or if they want a paper copy of our abstract, we'd be happy to send that to you. And would welcome the feedback and any kind of input that anyone has.
Actually, something has just came in. Someone would like to know more about the Gadabout bus passes.
Okay, this is actually a change in our programming this year. Typically, we would take transportation funding that we received and we would contract with Gadabout to provide a certain amount of rides for people over 60. The state has recommended that we do that a little bit differently. So this year we are buying, we just outright bought the tickets from Gadabout. So Gadabout's still receiving the money. It's just not through a contract. And those tickets are available to anyone over 60 to call our office. There is a limit, a cap on those. I think there's 10 tickets per person per year. So we can kind of spread out the amount of tickets. But for more information, certainly call the office and talk to one of our aging service specialists like Rodney, and he can tell you more information or get those tickets to you.
Lisa, would it be helpful to explain how the office is actually functioning right now? Because it
Sure.
is a little bit different.
It sure is, yes. So our doors are still locked to the public. We do appointments, in-person appointments, and we haven't actually, I think we've only had one in this whole time, which is surprising, but we found other ways to meet with people. We've been able to do most of our programs and services through the phone. All of our staff now have a Zoom account. So they're able to do a Zoom call with somebody like high cap counseling, or, if somebody needs housing and they need to go through some housing options, they're able to do that in person, by the phone or in a Zoom call. Also, a lot of emails have been back and forth between clients, and we have put a drop box out front of our office. So people, if they need to drop documents off, they don't have to come in. They can just drop them in the box. We also have people that come regularly now. Heap season is open. So people are dropping documents off, and they'll come to the door and they knock on the door, and we come out and meet them and get what they need, make them copies or whatever it is that they need, but the visits are very short. But so we are here in the office responding, are answering our phones every day. The appointments are just not strictly by walk-in, like many of the times, this time of the year, particularly with high cap counseling and health insurance counseling and HEAP, people will just walk in, but that's one big major change that's not happening. But we're still here, we're still doing what we're doing. We're just, might take us a little bit longer, especially this time of the year with a lot of appointments are by phone, and we are receiving a lot of calls. So I think just like with everything these days, we have to have patience with each other, and we'll certainly get back with you. Any other thoughts, Karen or Rodney?
No, I don't think so. I just wanted to add to that, because we do get some questions regarding our PERS program, because that was one of our programs that we were in people's homes quite a bit, installing the machines, picking them up, troubleshooting, whatever the case may be. And I just want to, assure everybody that that program is continuing, that our staff has done an amazing job with kind of transcribing the directions as to how to install these units, and really taking the time to walk through how to install the units and how to plug them in with either caregivers or family members, so that they're not actually physically going into the home, but that the individuals are still receiving the services that they so desperately need. So they did a wonderful job in kind of very quickly turning that program and doing it in a way that we've never done it before. So just wanted to add that.
I agree. Yeah. Well, great. Thank you. And everybody stay safe and stay well out there.